It is a plant we often overlook. It carpets our parks, lines our roadsides, and feeds our livestock. Yet, grass is far more than just a simple green covering. From the smallest blade pushing through a crack in the pavement to vast waving savannas, grass is a fundamental component of life on Earth. Its quiet dominion extends across continents, underpinning entire ecosystems and supporting a breathtaking diversity of life, including, in many ways, ourselves. Consider for a moment the sheer ubiquity of grass. This humble plant family, the Poaceae, boasts over 12,000 species, each uniquely adapted to its environment. They thrive in conditions where many other plants falter, from arid deserts to waterlogged marshes. The development of agriculture, a cornerstone of our societies, is inextricably linked to the cultivation of grasses, the cereals that feed billions of people every single day across the globe. So let us embark on a journey to explore the fascinating history of this extraordinary plant. The story of grass begins in deep time, long before the familiar landscapes of today took shape. The ancestors of modern grasses, members of the Poaceae family, first appeared during the late Cretaceous period, over 66 million years ago. Fossil evidence, including tiny, silicified plant fragments called phytoliths and ancient pollen grains, tells us of these early pioneers. They were likely unassuming plants, perhaps dwelling in the undergrowth of forests or in open, disturbed habitats where sunlight could reach them. It was during the Eocene epoch, beginning around 56 million years ago, that the grass family truly began its significant evolutionary journey and diversification. Their growing points, or meristems, are located near the base of the plant, close to the ground. This meant they could withstand grazing by herbivores or damage from fire and still regrow quickly, a remarkable adaptation for survival. Furthermore, many grasses evolved a special type of photosynthesis called C4 photosynthesis. This biochemical innovation allowed grasses to conserve water and thrive where other plants might struggle. The opportunity for grasses to truly flourish arrived with significant global climate changes, particularly during the Oligocene and Miocene epochs, starting around 34 million years ago. The Earth began a long-term cooling and drying trend. This gradual shift led to a decline in the vast, dense forests that had dominated many continents for millennia. As rainfall became scarcer and more seasonal, many tree species struggled to survive, creating new open spaces. Grasses, with their efficient C4 photosynthetic pathway in many species, were perfectly suited to these drier, sunnier environments. Their basal meristems allowed them to recover quickly from the increasing prevalence of wildfires, which swept through these more open landscapes. In fact, fire became an ally to the grasslands. It cleared away competing woody vegetation that was less fire-tolerant and returned nutrients to the soil, further encouraging the growth of grasses. Across North America, South America, Africa, and Asia, forests retreated and grasslands advanced. The Miocene epoch, in particular, is often referred to as the Age of Grasses due to this dramatic global proliferation. The rise of grasslands triggered a profound evolutionary response in the animal kingdom, particularly among herbivores. As vast expanses of tough, silica-rich grasses replaced softer forest vegetation, animals that could efficiently consume and digest this new food source gained a significant advantage. This led to a remarkable period of coevolution, where grasses and grazers shaped each other's development over millions of years. One of the most striking adaptations was the development of hypsodonti, high-crowned teeth. Grasses, with their incorporated silica particles, are highly abrasive and wear down teeth rapidly. Herbivores that evolved teeth with taller crowns and complex enamel patterns were better able to cope with this challenging diet throughout their lives. Beyond teeth, digestive systems also underwent significant modifications. Many grazing animals evolved complex stomachs, often with multiple chambers, housing symbiotic microorganisms. Life on the open plains also spurred changes in locomotion and social behavior. Many grazing animals developed longer limbs and specialized foot structures for swift running, a cursorial adaptation. They also tended to form large herds, offering greater protection through collective awareness. Section 5. Cradles of Civilization, Grass, and Early Humans. The influence of grasslands extends deeply into our own human story. The spread of savannas and open woodlands in Africa, driven by the same climatic changes that favored grasses, is thought to have played a crucial role in the evolution of our early hominin ancestors. As forests fragmented and receded, our predecessors were compelled to adapt to these more open environments. This transition is believed to have been a significant factor in the development of bipedalism, walking upright on two legs, which offered advantages for seeing over tall grasses, traveling efficiently over long distances, and reducing exposure to the hot sun. These grassy landscapes became the stage for much of early human development. The seeds of wild grasses, rich in carbohydrates, would have been a valuable and relatively reliable food source. Learning to gather, process, and perhaps even manage these wild grains may have been an important step towards our later agricultural innovations. Section 6. The shifting tapestry ecosystems remade by grass. The proliferation of grasslands did not merely replace forests, it brought about a fundamental reweaving of the Earth's ecological tapestry. Grasses, with their dense, fibrous root systems, became powerful agents of soil formation and stabilization. These roots bind soil particles together, reducing erosion by wind and water. The decomposition of grass roots and leaves also contributed significantly to the creation of deep, fertile soils, rich in organic matter. The animal communities supported by grasslands were distinctly different from those of forested regions. Burrowing animals like prairie dogs and ground squirrels found safety and shelter beneath the grassy plains, their activities further aerating the soil. A diverse array of insects, from grasshoppers to pollinating bees, flourished, forming the base of a complex food web. The rise of grasslands was a period of great ecological sorting, favoring organisms that could cope with open conditions, seasonal droughts, grazing pressure, and periodic fires. Section 7. Earth's green lungs, grass, and climate control. While forests are often lauded as the primary lungs of our planet, grasslands also play a remarkably significant, if sometimes underappreciated, role in regulating the Earth's climate. One of their most crucial functions is carbon sequestration. Grasses, through the process of photosynthesis, draw carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and convert it into organic matter. A substantial portion of this carbon is allocated below ground to their extensive root systems. When these roots die and decompose slowly, the carbon becomes incorporated into the soil, where it can remain stable for long periods. This makes grassland soils significant carbon sinks, helping to mitigate the greenhouse effect and buffer against climate change. Grasslands also influence local and regional climates in other ways. Their light green color gives them a higher albedo or reflectivity, compared to darker forests, which can have a cooling effect on the immediate environment. Section 8. The grain of life, agriculture's grassy foundation. The long history of interaction between humans and grasses culminated in one of the most pivotal developments in human history, the dawn of agriculture. Around 10 to 12,000 years ago, in various parts of the world, our ancestors began to deliberately cultivate certain species of wild grasses. This transition from hunting and gathering to settled farming marked the Neolithic Revolution, fundamentally reshaping human societies, our relationship with the natural world, and the trajectory of our species. The humble grasses were at the very heart of this monumental change. Wild wheat and barley in the Fertile Crescent of the Middle East, rice in East Asia, and maize, corn in Mesoamerica were among the first grasses to be domesticated. These plants, through careful selection and cultivation over generations, were gradually transformed from their wild progenitors into the highly productive crops we know today. They provided a concentrated, storable source of carbohydrates and protein, capable of sustaining larger, more permanent human settlements than ever before. The ability to produce a surplus of food from cultivated grasses had profound consequences. Even today, grasses remain the cornerstone of global food security. Section 9. A continuing legacy. Grass in the modern world. The profound influence of grass on our planet and our civilization continues unabated into the modern era. From the vast agricultural fields that feed humanity to the manicured lawns that adorn our urban landscapes, grasses remain an integral part of our daily lives and the global ecosystem. In agriculture, the legacy of domesticated grasses is paramount. Ongoing research focuses on improving crop yields, enhancing nutritional content, and developing varieties that are more resilient to drought, pests, and diseases. Beyond direct human consumption, grasses are also vital as forage for livestock, forming the base of the food chain that produces meat and dairy products consumed worldwide. Grasses also play a significant role in modern land management and conservation. They are used extensively for soil stabilization, erosion control along roadsides and construction sites, and for reclaiming degraded land. Native grasses are increasingly recognized for their importance in restoring biodiversity and creating resilient ecosystems. The quiet, green revolution that grasses began millions of years ago continues to unfold, reminding us of the profound power and enduring legacy of even the most seemingly simple forms of life on our extraordinary planet.